Final here at Mazzucchelli Oval this afternoon.
Yes, Glenn, and the umpires look pretty snazzy in their pink. We won't miss them this afternoon, that's for sure. Boundary umpires, central umpires and goal umpires all wearing pink. But it's a beautiful day here out at Chapman Valley. Mazzucchelli Oval is a great location to watch football, and the breeze coming from almost a northeasterly direction, Glenn, but only about, it's coming straight across the ground, so it doesn't favour either end. But if there is an end to which you'd want to win the toss, it would be to the northern end, and Northampton have won the toss, and their captain who's gone in there, Bo Walker, has signalled to go north, and he's now going back to his players. So the game not too far away, but we're ready for a keenly fought encounter in this Northern Derby.
Yes, the toss of the coin has been won by Bo Walker, and of course Chapman Valley's captain today and throughout the season, Lee Hutchinson. Aaron Thomas also paid tribute to him when he spoke to you this morning, Peter, saying that Lee is a young player who has come over from Brigades, a premiership player, and he's taken on a lot of responsibility, but his form has been outstanding. It
has been. Injury has sort of been the Achilles heel for Lee, but in recent weeks we have really seen what he brings to Chapman Valley, and he certainly is going to be a key player should they get into the finals.
He certainly is. As we see the interchange players coming off and the umpires getting prepared for the big one this afternoon, our Drennan O'Malley Motors Game Day. We'll keep you up to date with scores from other grounds when they come to us. And as I mentioned, there's a big game out at Greenough, and if you want to get involved in the activities out there, lots of fun out at Greenough Oval today, and a lot of tributes too, of course. There have been the passing of a number of senior players and people involved in our football clubs and our footy community, but Jamie Campbell, a champion of the Rovers Footy Club, a former fairest and best, and also a former coach and a player, sadly passed away during the week, Peter.
Yeah, Glenn, his battle with cancer came to an end, but Jamie fought right to the end as well. And as he said, a champion right from I think under 10s at the Rover Football Club. Jamie Campbell has been a demon, and he'd be happy today to see that his son Jack is lining up with the Red and Blacks.
Yes, he certainly wished Jack and everyone else involved all the best for that big contest. And there's another big contest at GBSC Sports Park, Peter. The two top sides, Railways and Brigades. And we do believe, perhaps, we don't know, but we believe that if you finish on top, you might get the second semi-final at your ground. So it's an important game for more than one reason today.
Yeah, that's interesting, Glenn, and it'll be good to see the finals moved around a little bit. The umpire's given us the thumbs up, Glenn. We're about to begin this latest round on Drennan O'Malley Game Day. To call all the action, Mr. Football, Glenn Barndon.
And very pleased to say it's 1:30, and the game is underway on time. The ball goes up, goes the way of McConnell. He wins it down to Richard Bartlett. Bartlett was held while not in possession. Bartlett back from his duties at Subiaco. They have a bye this afternoon. He gets it the way of Nathan Gray. Gray goes the way of Mitch Thompson. He goes by hand, looking back there. He finds the big fella in Ringo McKenna. McKenna gets caught in possession. Free kick goes the way of Northampton. Northampton quickly get the ball forward, only as far as Richard Bartlett. And Bartlett has the ball and a 50-metre penalty. Michael Wright didn't give him the opportunity to go forward. Paul Luxton quickly pulls him up. So Richard Bartlett goes from the centre of the ground, kicks from 45 metres out directly in front. So Chapman Valley with an opportunity to get the score on the board early. So Richard Bartlett started well, second possession, and he has an opportunity to get the ball deep into attack. Richard Bartlett, the young star from Chapman Valley, gets a kick forward, won't make the distance, up into the air. Chapman Valley player goes high, couldn't take the ball. Northampton player forces it through for a force behind. And the first minor score on the scoreboard. Jack McKee brings it in a little bit too quick. He's picked out a Chapman Valley player in Dylan Williamson, and Dylan Williamson will shoot on goal again from 45 metres. So the first score on the board on the Batavia Timber Salvage scoreboard, Chapman Valley are one behind. Can Dylan Williamson get the first major of the afternoon from 40 metres?
In comes Dylan Williamson, kicking to the southern end. Looks pretty good off the boot. The umpire doesn't move too far. That's because it's straight through the middle. The Chapman Valley have got their first major on the board. They are 1-1, and they lead Northampton yet to open their account. So Richie Bartlett getting into the thick of things early, Glenn.
Yeah, we saw him a couple of weeks ago, Peter, when he came back. He played last week and was amongst Chapman Valley's top 10 players last week at Mullawa. But we also saw him that day when the Eagles players played in Prentice and Jeddah, and he was outstanding on that day. And he's come back from Subiaco. Naturally, he's got a fairly good skill level. He's always had that. but he's carrying a lot better fitness than he had. He had ankle injuries last year. He seems to have got over those injuries, and he's enjoying his footy. And as you'd expect, a player coming back, playing at GNFL level for his quality is always going to be a valuable player.
Back in the middle now, and the ball comes out. The last score by Chapman Valley. Bartlett in the thick of things once again, but it comes off a Northampton boot on this occasion into the half-forward area. Can they set something up? The ball now is with Simpson. He spins around, puts it onto his boot. A bit of a rainmaker up into the full forward area. Comes off the back of the pack. The defender for Chapman Valley is first in line. He gets the ball. He kicks it out now, just outside the forward 50 for Northampton. Chapman Valley lapping each other as they gather the ball and send it to the outer side, but it's marked out there just below the windsock. Chapman Valley now defending. Northampton kicking toward the northern end in this quarter. No breeze affecting either end this early stage in the game. The kick is into the pockets. A bit of a pack does develop, and I think the ball has gone over the boundary on the Chapman Valley Tavern end. No, it's thrown up. The ball's thrown up just inside the boundary. The play continues to be bottled up as players dive on top of the ball. The umpire lets it go. He says play on, arms in the air. The umpire signalling that he wants the ball to come out of the pack as quickly as possible. It does so, and the player is quickly set upon. And a free kick will go the way of Northampton. So Northampton now will have a shot on goal. And the player who has the ball is it Bo Walker, I think?
It is.
Yeah, Bo Walker in front of the tavern. Do you call it the Nabor Tavern or the Chapman Valley Tavern, Glenn?
The Valley Tavern, I think.
Yeah, it gets all sorts of names, doesn't it?
And it's doing a good business today by the look of it.
It certainly
There's cars
is.
parked everywhere.
All down the street.
That's right.
Okay.
Looks like they've got a market day on there.
Okay, Bo Walker comes in now. It's a nice kick. It'll make the distance, but it comes off hands just on the line and goes through for the minor score.
Chapman Valley defenders did well there to knock the ball through for a force behind. Paul Sorensen to bring the ball back into play. So on the Batavia Timber and Selvage scoreboard, Chapman Valley are 1-1, Northampton are 1 behind. Northampton have an opportunity now on centre wing. Ball goes the way of Jamie Williams. He gets rid of the ball, goes the way of Brown. Brown goes the way to the young Northampton player who's tackled solidly there, and Aidan Bartolo comes the way of Richard Bartlett. He gives it out towards Mitchell Thompson, back towards Reece Everston. Everston goes by hand, looking there for the player in Mitch Thompson, and there'll be a boundary throw in directly in front of our broadcast box here at Mazzucchelli Oval for Radio Mumma, the home of GNFL football. This first term with thanks to Warren Taylor Holmes, as the boundary umpire puts the beautiful pink ball for breast cancer back into play. Goes the way of McConnell. He goes the way of Ringo McKenna. McKenna's been in outstanding form this year. Clearly one of Chapman Valley's better players on an annual basis or on a weekly basis. McConnell gets the best of it. Handball comes forward, goes the way of Bo Walker. He runs into trouble, goes back now looking for Kai McVee. Kai McVee's tackled, taken to the boundary line. Northampton player sees the ball across the line. The ball is out of bounds on the full, and Chapman Valley's Ringo McKenna sends the ball back into play.
Into the half-foot area it goes, but it's only Northampton there. The mark is taken by Jack McQuaid. McQuaid goes laterally now into the middle of the ground, and there is Jamie Williams. Jamie Williams, good to see him back in the lineup. A bit of I think he had an injury earlier this year. The ball on the far side. Northampton send it inboard. A nice mark is eventually taken upfield. The player plays on into the full forward area. Nathaniel Murrumbine makes a beautiful lead. Marks it right on the chest, and now we'll have a shot on goal. So Nathaniel Murrumbine seemed to have come into his own a little bit more without Harry Taylor this season.
Well,
Glenn.
he kicked 8 goals last week, so we know he's a very talented player, is Nathaniel. Reece Moody has the job of looking after him, but it's very hard for a defender when the ball comes in quickly as it did there. Northampton using their ball movement very quickly to get it to Nathaniel. So Nathaniel 35 metres out on a 45-degree angle, looks very good off the boot. Northampton get their first of the afternoon, the first goal that is, and scores a level here at Mazzucchelli Oval. And we've played 6.5 minutes in this first term with thanks to our friends at Warren Taylor Holmes on Drinnan O'Malley Motors game day. So Chapman Valley 1-1 and Northampton are 1-1, 7 points apiece here at Nabor.
This quarter brought to you by Warren Taylor Holmes. Hello to Warren, Janine and all the team. A very busy time for the building industry. And of course Warren will be listening to all of the games in and around the GNFL as a great supporter of local footy and this particular broadcast. Back in the middle now, umpire Luxton throws up the ball. It's knocked down by Northampton on this occasion outside the centre square. Can they get another score on the board quickly? The ball comes the way of the Northampton rover. He goes around the pack, puts it onto his boot. A nice little lead from Nathaniel Murrumbine once again, but this time it comes off the top of his fingers, goes to ground. A player is tackled without the ball. In fact, it is a Chapman Valley player who's a recipient of a free kick, and he gets his side out of danger as the ball goes to the outer side, the fat side of Mazzucchelli Oval.
The ball goes up through Nathan Gray, gets it up towards centre wing, looking there for Williamson. He plays on quickly now with a big kick up towards half forward, looking there for McConnell, but the best player there is the Northampton defender, and that is Michael Wright Jr. Michael Wright Jr. plays on quickly, looking there for a teammate, finds Dylan Corbett. Corbett draws another player, looking for Jordan Murrumbine. Jordan Murrumbine's kick up towards half forward, but goes the way of Chapman Valley's Taylor Kelly. He goes the way of Richard Bartlett. He, under pressure, gets rid of the ball, goes back to Taylor Kelly. Kelly kicks it up towards half forward, looking up there for the player in Tommy Page. Tom Page soccers the ball forward, but only as far as Northampton player in the player there in McVie. McVie goes back to Bartolo, back to McVie. He puts it on his left boot and comes out towards centre wing, clubroom side, and finds Jace Price.
Jace Price down the wing. He's looking for support and he finds it well and truly. This time in the guise of Dylan Corbett. Corbett, good servant for the Northampton Footy Club, sends it into the half-forward area. Up they go. Jordan Drage tries to bring it down. He's unsuccessful, but eventually the ball goes away of Josh Normington. Normington sends it inside the corridor. Nathaniel Murrumbine comes out, lace-out kick, and it's a mark to Murrumbine, and he'll have his second shot on goal in as many moments.
Yeah, beautiful pass there from Normington, getting it in beautifully to the player there in Murrumbine. Has just kicked a goal only a moment or two back. So Nathaniel Murrumbine lining up for goal number 2 and looks pretty ordinary off the boot. 1 point only on the Batavia Timber and Salvage scoreboard. Northampton take the lead. Northampton 1 goal 2-8 lead Chapman Valley 1-1-7. And we've played 10 minutes in this first term with thanks to Warren Taylor Holmes on Dredden O'Malley Motors game day. Paul Sorensen brings the ball back into play. Beautiful kick up towards the centre of the ground and finds the big fella there in Tommy Walker. Tommy Walker plays on for Chapman Valley, gets it out wide, finds Williamson. Williamson goes further afield, looking there for the hard-running Reece Everston. Everston screws the ball around the corner. In fact, it was Everston who marked the ball now. The ball came from Jay O'Brien, goes the way of Everston. He sets sail for home, but he's offline, and Chapman Valley draw level again on the Batavia Timber and Salvage scoreboard. Chapman Valley, a 1 goal 2-8. Northampton, a 1 goal 2-8. And a very entertaining game of football here. Beautiful conditions for football here at Mazzucchelli Oval. Very good crowd in attendance for this special day for breast cancer.
End-to-end football as the ball comes out of defence. Up that guy, Kai McVie, got his fingers to it, comes off hands and spills over the boundary. So getting toward quarter time here in our Dredden O'Malley game day, it is the Northern Derby. Always great encounters at either Northampton or Chapman Valley. Even Stevens on the scoreboard at the moment, 1-2 apiece as the ball is in the half-forward area now for Chapman Valley. Comes off the boot of the player there in Jay O'Brien. He sends it into the full-forward area and the mark is eventually taken by Tommy Page. Now, last time we were here too, Glenn, Tommy Page had a nice day out for Chapman Valley, and he'll have a shot on goal. He'd be about 35 metres on a 45-degree angle, and he's going to try and kick it into the canola.
So here goes the kick from Tommy Page. As you say, had a very good year. He's a very big man, a very mobile man. Can be adaptable, playing up forward today,
nice
but he
kick.
can play at other ends of the ground, and he can also play on the ball, but his kick offline on this occasion, 1 point only. So Chapman Valley take a narrow 1 point margin as we head towards the 13-minute mark of this first term. 1 goal 3 Chapman Valley. Northampton 1 goal 2-8. Ball comes back into play from Northampton. Goes the way of Northampton's Bobby Gibson. Gibson plays up the ground and finds Bo Walker on half back. Bo Walker looking to get the ball moving quickly. Slows down now. Gets a short pass. Picks out a teammate. That teammate is Kieran Harris. His kick goes the way of Brown. Brown has the ball on half back. Waits for Harris. But in comes Willie Thorne. Thorne has the ball smothered off his boot by Richard Bartlett. Ball running free. Bartlett slaps it out, but goes back towards Northampton. So Northampton go forward. Big kick up towards half forward. Looking there for Campbell. Campbell couldn't mark the ball. Northampton player takes the ball on. He's caught in possession. Umpire said he didn't have prior opportunity. And a good tackle put on that player, Tyler Caddy, there by another teacher. So both teachers, Nick Mosley's a teacher as well, so two educators playing for respective sides this afternoon. Comes the way of a Northampton player and a Chapman Valley player come together. Umpire Cohen in control of this afternoon's game with umpire Paul Luxton, puts the ball into the air.
Up it goes, as Glenn mentioned, inside the forward 50 for Chapman Valley, but the ball comes to Rengo McKenna, puts it onto his boot, straight down the middle. Bartlett goes up, can't take the mark, but on the half-back line, the mark is taken by the Northampton player there, and Murrumbine. Murrumbine comes laterally now, out to our broadcast position. He finds Kieran Harris. Harris now plays on down the wing. Goes a little bit inside the corridor. Bounces in front of a couple of players. Chapman Valley are first in the race. Goes back the way of the Chapman Valley custodian there in Ryan Forrester. Puts it onto his boot, but hits it into a host of players. Somehow it gets back to McKenna. At centre wing now, he sends it inboard. He gives it away to a teammate. Richie Bartlett has the ball now, but the bounce isn't kind for Bartlett. He has another bite of the cherry, collects it, but the boundary comes up all too quickly, and the ball rolls over. Not far from the Chapman Valley dugout here at Mazzucchelli Oval.
Yeah, a good contest here. Both these sides playing for a very important game this afternoon. Chapman Valley trying to keep their finals hopes alive. Northampton trying to stay in the top four in the coming weeks, and they need to win this one because they have another tough game in a couple of weeks' time, Northampton, when they come up against Brigades. So, still anybody's contest. Umpire Luxton puts the ball in the air. Campbell doing the rucking along with the player there in McConnell. Ball spills, goes the way of Michael Wright for Northampton, playing against his old club, Chapman Valley. Ball goes the way now of Ryan Forrester. He's tackled high. Umpire says play on, and the ball goes forward, but the kick from Forrester is out of bounds on the full. So we get Northampton to bring the ball back in. It'll go the way of Jordan Murrumbine. Will bring the ball back in. He's on half-back, clubroom side, and Richard Bartlett stands the mark.
It's unusual to see a Willie Thorne in Northampton colours, Glenn, but he's wearing number 7 today, so I've just noted that. So yeah. Willie Thorne, he's having an impact as well.
He is. Ball with Jordan Murrumbine. Brings it up the ground to centre wing, looking there for some movement. Bo Walker's there. Ball slapped forward. Goes the way of the hard-running Corbett. Corbett got plenty of pace to burn, but he's kicked the poor one. Goes the way of Mitchell Thompson. Mitchell Thompson plays on, and a whistle on play, and the free kick will go the way of Northampton. So Northampton advantage rule plays.
Yeah, so it should be, yeah.
No, you're going to bring it back because the game was a little bit away from them. So the ball will come back. So the free kick will come back to Northampton on half-back. So Mitchell Thompson played on, and if he had his time again, he wouldn't have. But the ball comes the way now of the player there in Michael Wright. So Michael Wright on half-back. Breaks across the centre now. The umpire says go back behind the line.
Behind and he does so eventually.
Mark, yeah. So now
sometimes
Michael
I wonder whether the players even know what the rules are, Glenn.
I think they don't. That's probably why they argue with them. The ball comes forward, goes the way of Jamie Williams for Northampton. Big kick from centre wing up towards half forward. Good mark taken there by their player in Geordie Drage.
Oh, it was a one-hander.
And Geordie Drage used his strength and his experience and took a good mark in front of Chapman Valley's Nick Mosley. Ball comes forward up the way of Trent Simpson. So Trent Simpson's marked down. Trent Simpson is 45 metres from goal on a 45-degree angle. We know Trent has been kicking bags of goals in recent times, but neither side being able to get the score on the board at the moment. So the scores are pretty tight. 1-3 Chapman Valley, 1-2 Northampton. So Trent Simpson, he's a good goal scorer. He should have no trouble in bringing up a score from here. And it would be nice for him and his coach if he can get a goal. Grady Tomilty would be very pleased with that kick because it goes straight through the centre. Trent Simpson gets his first of the afternoon, adds to his tally for the year. And on the Batavia Timber and Salvage scoreboard, Northampton go to 2-2-14. They lead Chapman Valley 1-3-9.
Yes, the ball coming back to the middle now, and one would think that Chapman Valley would be keen to atone that goal before the quarter-time break. It can't be too far away here on Radio Mama, the home of GNFL football. Glenn, interesting speaking with a young fellow by the name of Luke Langley this morning on Sportshed Saturday. great mates of Josh Kennedy, and it's interesting to see how Josh's mates have kept him level-headed.
Oh, that's very good. And, yeah, it was a great little chat, and it was lovely to hear the background story. And I think we all know that because we've all been around the Midwest. We see how Josh is so level-headed. As we see Chapman Valley win the ball out of the centre through Bartlett. His kick is cut off, however, by Brown. Brown for Northampton goes out wide, finds a teammate in Liam Campbell all on his own on centre wing. He kicks it up towards half forward, looking again for the hard-running player, but Chapman Valley can mop up, and they do through Mosley. Goes the way to Bartlett. Bartlett comes up towards centre wing. His kick is a poor one, and it goes the way of Dylan Corbett. So Corbett takes the pressure off for the Rams. Kicks it towards the centre of the ground, but his kick is a poor one because he picks out the big fella in Ringo McKenna. McKenna plays on quickly, looking out front for Tommy Page. He finds that player. Page gets a handball back. Goes the way of Ricky Whittaker. Whittaker gets a kick forward under pressure. Goes back towards Tommy Page. Page is taken down. Play on's the call. Umpires saying, go at it, boys, and they are. Both sides going hard at the ball. Ball spills. In goes Whittaker again. Whittaker breaks across the centre. Kicks up towards half forward. Looking there for Jaden Thompson. Can Thompson put a handle on it? He's tackled. A lot of pressure on the ball carrier today. And Dylan Corbett breaks the tackle for Northampton. Takes his second bounce. Takes the pressure off. And kicks it up towards centre wing. On the outer side, looking there for Campbell. Campbell reads the ball well. Feeds it out towards Michael Wright for Northampton. Michael Wright breaks across the centre. Kicks it forward and finds Murrumbine. Murrumbine couldn't mark but plays on quickly. Gets it out towards the forward pocket where he finds William Thorne.
Willie Thorne now 25 metres out from goal on a reasonable angle. He's on the Chapman Valley side, Chapman Valley Tavern side of Massacalli Oval. Kicking toward the northern end, so Willie Thorne, as I mentioned, not used to seeing him in Northampton colours. Bit of a Towns legend as he comes in now. Certainly now has kicked a few goals in his time, so in he comes now, Willie Thorne. Big run-ups they're having lately, these fellas, but it goes across the face of goal and almost sneaks in, but hits the post in the final stages of that passage of play, and only a point is recorded. So that is 2 goals, 3. That is the Rams. They lead Chapman Valley 1-3.
So a 1-goal ball game as Chapman Valley bring the ball back into play through Paul Sorensen. Sorensen goes out towards the Valley pocket side of the ground. Northampton player was tackled. Umpire said he got rid of the ball in time, so the umpire will come in and throw the ball up just on the boundary line, that outer side pocket just in front of the Valley Tavern. Ball comes the way now of the Northampton player who roves it well. That is young Trent Simpson. Simpson goes back to Jamie Williams. Williams' kick is a poor one. Goes the way of Richard Bartlett, who's reading the ball well and using it well on this occasion. He picks out Ringo McKenna. Ringo McKenna on half-back, trying to get Chapman Valley forward. Can they get a late goal? We've played 20 minutes in this first term with thanks to Warren Taylor-Holmes on Drennan O'Malley Motors game day. Ball spills, goes the way of Lee Hutchins. Hutchins is tackled and he had the ball held to him and couldn't get rid of the ball in time. So the ball goes the way of Dylan Corbett, who got the resultant free kick.
Dylan Corbett racking up kicks in this the first term. As I said, a good servant for the Rams. He kicks a pink ball into the full forward area, and up goes Bo Walker unopposed and takes a nice mark about 20 metres out from goal. So Bo Walker, he's already had one shot on goal, Glenn, and he'll be going for another now. And he certainly is an important player for Northampton if they are to progress in the finals in season 2022. Of course, he was the coach last year and now just the captain. I shouldn't say just the captain because he certainly leads by example out on the park as he comes in now. The Josh Kennedy skip. Bit of a salute to the great man today as he kicks to the full forward area, straight through the middle. And as we head to the quarter-time break, it is Northampton who have a mini stranglehold on this match. They are 3-3, leading Chapman Valley 1-3.
Yeah, very important goal. Bo Walker, he finished it off well. So Northampton, they've probably deserved to be where they are at the moment. Chapman Valley have been a little bit more haphazard when they've gone forward, but Northampton have looked dangerous with Trent Simpson and also Nathaniel Murrumbine and Bo Walker finishing off their goals so far. So on the Batavia Timber and Selby scoreboard, Northampton are 3-3-21. They lead Chapman Valley 1-3-9. So Chapman Valley into time on now, and they need to keep Northampton curtailed for the remainder of this quarter. Umpire Luxton to put the ball into the ground. We'll bring you quarter-by-quarter scores from other grounds when they come to hand. Couple of big games this afternoon. Rovers are playing Towns at Greenough Oval, and Railways are playing Brigades at GBSC Sports Park. We'll keep you up to date with thanks to the City of Greater Geraldton this afternoon. Umpire puts the ball into the air again, and once again, Chapman Valley get it through Tommy Page. Ball spills out, goes the way of the player there in Bartlett. He goes by hand to Sam Solomon. Sam Solomon is caught. Umpire said you didn't have prior opportunity, so the ball will be thrown up at half forward. Can Chapman Valley squeeze a goal in before the siren sounds?
Yes, outside the centre square. Umpire Luxon throws it up into the air. It's knocked down by the ruckman for Chapman Valley. The player run for Northampton, Jace Price dives on top of the ball. He's quickly bottled up, and the umpire relieves the pressure. Up they go again. The ball coming out of the middle. There's Jace Price again. Head over the ball, almost cleaned up, and he's a recipient of a free kick. Of course, talking about Aidan Bortolo on this occasion. He'll have to watch himself there. Bortolo will end up getting knocked out as he goes over the top of the ball like that. Into Campbell in the middle of the ground now. Northampton send it further afield. It's knocked down by Willie Thorne. He tries to get it to a teammate. The bounce isn't kind, but Campbell collects it again. Comes out to the half-forward area. Williams is there. He's got to try and beat Bartlett. Bartlett impedes his run to the ball. The ball inside the forward 50 now, and the whistle has sounded, and a free kick goes the way of Ringo McKenna.
McKenna plays on quickly, finds Page. Page quickly goes forward, finds Ewan Whiteley. Ewan Whiteley was running forward, but the siren has sounded. And it's quarter time at the football with thanks to Warren Taylor Homes on Drill and O'Malley Motors Game Day. And at quarter time here at Mazzucchelli Oval, Northampton 3-3-21, lead Chapman Valley 1-3-9. And you're tuned to Radio Mama, the home of GNFL football.
Today's Drill and O'Malley Motors Game Day is brought to you sponsors the team at Glen O'Malley Motors. Make sure you make them your first choice for your second-hand cars. Stay tuned to the home of GNFL football, Radio Mama.
And a very good afternoon. Welcome back to O'Malley Motors Game Day. Glenn Bunn and Peter Forenza about to get the second quarter underway as we look at the scores with thanks to the City of Greater Jordan. At quarter time, it is Northampton 3-3-21, Chapman Valley 1-3-9, 12 points the margin. The second term with thanks to Melissa Price, the member for Durack. And the ball is in the centre. Richard Bartlett, who's been very good in the first quarter for Chapman Valley, trying to get his side moving forward again. Chapman Valley going to the northern end of this quarter. Northampton had the best of it. Goal scorers for Northampton in the first quarter. Nathaniel Murrumbine, Trent Simpson and Bo Walker, one apiece. As Chapman Valley move the ball forward now. Ringo McKenna goes backwards to go forward. He finds Nathan Gray. Gray goes up the ground and finds Mitchell Thompson. Mitch Thompson looking for some movement. Kicks it deep into attack now, looking for Jaden Thompson, his brother. Jaden couldn't mark the ball. Ball carried up the back there from Northampton, Bobby Gibson. He kicks the ball inboard. Chapman Valley defenders, or forwards, who become defenders because the ball was coming out, put a good pressure on there. Better players for Chapman Valley, contenders for the Skeeters Restaurant Player of the Day. I thought Richard Bartlett, Ringo McKenna, Dylan Williamson, Michael McConnell and Tom Page, all good in that first quarter. Ball goes the way of Ringo McKenna. He was tackled high. Umpire says play on. Ball comes to ground. Once again, the ball will be thrown up here at Mazzucchelli Oval at half forward. So Chapman Valley have the ball in their deep 50. They need to keep the pressure on. Ball comes out. Goes the way of Nathan Gray. Gray gets bundled out of it. Goes the way of Bo Walker. Goes by hand to Williams. Williams goes by hand to the Bartolo. He goes with a short pass and finds Bo Walker in the centre of the ground. So Northampton moving the ball up the ground. Go with a short pass to Willie Thorne. He runs around his opponent. Then he screws the ball back. Looking again for some movement, but goes out the way of Michael Wright. Michael Wright has the ball. Gets the ball out somehow. Ball comes back towards Dylan Corbett. Whistle on play. And we see a free kick go the way of Dylan Corbett on half forward.
Yes, caught without having the ball, Glenn, on that occasion. Corbett, nice kick into the full forward area. Nathaniel Murrumbine doesn't get in front, but magically is able to get the ball, but it spills free. Coming out of defence now. Forrester puts it onto his boot for Chapman Valley, sends it into the centre square, but the nice mark is taken there by Tyler Caddy. Tyler Caddy outside the centre square. Kicks it into the half-forward area. Playing going back in the flight of the ball is Drage. He's unable to take the mark. His opposite number collects the ball, sends it down the wing. A bit of a contest as Ringo McKenna is first in to collect the ball. The whistle does sound, and a free kick will go the way of Chapman Valley. They play on now, the broadcast side of the ground, as they head toward the goals, kicking toward the northern end in this term. The ball comes away now of Chapman Valley in the guise of Mitch Thompson. Thompson goes inboard now, and a nice mark is taken in the middle of the ground. On this occasion, it is Sam Solomon. Solomon now, can he set something up? He's got a bit of space, players all over the place, but he kicks it straight down the middle, and the defender for Northampton is there and solid and takes the mark and kicks it laterally.
So a good bit of play there from Kai McVee. Northampton getting themselves out of trouble. Ball goes into the centre, goes the way of Michael Wright. He goes by hand to Bo Walker. Bo Walker goes out wide again, looking out there for Aidan Bartolo, finds that player. So Bartolo on the outer side of Mazzucchelli Oval. Northampton going up towards the southern end. He finds Campbell. Campbell puts it on his left boot, finds Simpson. Trent Simpson screws the ball around towards half forward, and a good mark taken there by the Northampton player in Jace Price. So Northampton have the ball, 50 metres from goal. Short pass looking there for Caddy, finds that player, and Tyler Caddy is marked. He's still 45 metres out, gets a short pass forward and finds William Thorne, and William Thorne is marked. And William is 40 metres out, almost directly in front, shooting on goal. So William Thorne to shoot on goal. So let's see how the veteran goes with his kick towards the southern end. And William Thorne, a very, very key player for Towns for a lot of times, but playing for Northampton this season. So William Thorne has an opportunity to get a score on the board and another goal to Northampton. Looks pretty good off the boot. Fades away to the right-hand side. 1 point only. Luck's of fortune for Chapman Valley. And on the Batavia Timber and Selvage scoreboard, Northampton get their first score of the term, but they still get the score on the board. Northampton 3 goals 4. Chapman Valley 1 goal 3. So 13 points the margin here at Mazzucchelli Oval this second term with thanks to Melissa Price, the member for Durack.
The ball coming out of defence now for Chapman Valley. Players setting themselves, fisted away by Corbett, goes to ground, picked up by the Valley. Can they send something up again? Goes the way of Rengo McKenna. He's figured predominantly this in the first half of football for Chapman Valley. The ball in the middle of the ground though. Goes away now of Williams for Northampton. He goes to the outer side. Bertolo has it now, puts it onto his boot, into the half-forward area, and a beautiful mark running through to take it is Jace Price, and he'll now shoot from outside the forward 50, elects to play on. He sees a player on the lead. That player is Campbell. He doesn't let his teammate down and takes a nice mark about 20 metres out from goal. Glenn, Northampton had a few contributors in the first term. They included Bo Walker, Campbell, Price, Jamie Williams, Michael Wright, Aidan Bortolo and Willie Thorne.
And Northampton continuing on where they left off as we see Campbell shoot on goal. Looks pretty good off the boot and he gets his first of the afternoon, Liam Campbell. So Northampton stretched their lead on the Batavia Timber and Salvage scoreboard. Northampton go to 4-4. They lead Chapman Valley 1-3 and the margin now starting to get a little bit more alarming.
The ball coming back to the middle. The breeze not so much of a factor this afternoon, although I had switched slightly and coming from a more northerly direction, favouring the southern end. So I don't know what it would be like there out on the ground, but one would think that it wouldn't have much impact. Northampton have been scoring at both ends in the early stages of our Drennan O'Malley game day. This quarter brought to you by Melissa Price, the member for Durack. In the middle now, up they go. Chapman Valley, desperate to get another score on the board. Goes away with Hutchins now, the captain, puts it onto his boot, kicks it into the half-forward area. He's looking for support up there in the guise of McKenna. McKenna isn't able to mark, but the ball goes into the half-forward area. They can shoot on goal. I think it's Mitch Thompson who shot on goal eventually, but he goes across the face a little bit too hurriedly on that occasion, Glenn, and through for the minor score. Yeah, so the scoreboard rolls over. Chapman Valley get a minor score. They need goals as we look at quarter time with thanks to the City of Greater Jordan. The game at GBSC Sports Park. Railways 5-2-32 lead Brigades 1-4-10. So Railways a very good start to that game there at GBSC Sports Park as Northampton have the ball on the rebound now. Goes the way of Michael Wright. He breaks across the centre, kicks it up towards half forward, looking there for Jordan Drage. He takes them on, caught in position, and the free kick will go the way of the Chapman Valley defender there in Ryan Forrester, who put a good tackle on him. Ball comes up, goes the way of Bertolo. Bertolo and Sam Solomon doing battle. Sam Solomon has the ball under him. He'll be caught in possession and the free kick will go the way of Northampton. So Northampton will have the opportunity to get the ball forward. And as the ball goes up the ground, and we'll see a free kick and a 50-metre penalty. Unusual, the umpire that was standing there wasn't the one that called the 50-metre, which I thought was very interesting. So the ball goes up the ground, and the ball will go right up towards the teeth of goal. It's Jace Price who's got it, I think, is it?
Yes, it is.
So Jace Price will shoot from point-blank range. It's straight through the middle, and that's another goal. Not one that Chapman Valley would like to see go to their adversaries, but Jace Price scores from a 50-metre penalty. The indiscretion, supposedly by the umpire, was the player was took too long to give up the ball on the mark, and that resulted in a 50-metre penalty. So ball back in the middle now, and as Glenn said, starting to get away from Chapman Valley now. 5-4 plays 1-4. So players are sharing it around a lot more for Northampton. Chapman Valley turning into a defensive game. Player like Bartlett, who was important early, Glenn, has gone out of the game somewhat.
Ball back in the centre. McConnell and Campbell win it. We're taken there by Caddy. Caddy gets a handball away to Bo Walker. He gets a kick further afield, looking there for Simpson. Ball slapped away from him. Simpson pushes the ball out in front of him. And the umpire says play on. Ball comes back towards Campbell. Campbell breaks the tackle too easily. Campbell gets a big kick up towards the forward line, looking there for Nathaniel Murrumbine. Almost a good mark to Murrumbine. Chapman Valley under pressure now. Their defenders working hard. Ball comes out, comes the way of Solomon. He gets a kick forward. And a good mark taken there by Chapman Valley's Lee Hutchins on half-back. Hutchins plays on from half-back, goes towards centre wing on the outer side and finds a player there in Williamson. Williamson plays on quickly now, brings it up towards half-forward, looking for some movement, but Northampton have the run. Goes from Normington to Bobby Gibson. Bobby Gibson kicks it up towards centre wing, but his kick is an ordinary one. And we see a free kick, and the umpire says nothing in that. And Nick Mosley is the player who takes the free kick and plays on with a short pass and finds a player there in Ryan Forrester.
Forrester now comes laterally and finds this player in Bartlett. Needs to up the ante, does Bartlett. He is a marquee player in this particular game. He gets it now to Hutchins. Hutchins racking up kicks now inside the centre square, sends it into the half-forward area. I've got a couple of players, 2 Chapman Valley, 1 Northampton. The ball is brought to ground. Rango McKenna, he does well, gets it to a teammate who shoots on goal, goes around a host of players, but bounces awkwardly and is taken through for the minor score by the Northampton defender.
Northampton defence, Jack McKee brings the ball back into play, goes out towards the Valley Tavern pocket side where he finds a teammate there in Brown. Ethan Brown plays on, short pass, up towards centre wing where he finds Bartolo. Bartolo on centre wing, grandstand or scoreboard side. Looking there for some movement. Jake Hipper comes across the top of the pack, slaps the ball towards the boundary line, and there'll be a boundary throw on the outer side. Northampton scoreboard looking good for Batavia Timber and Salvage. Northampton 5-4-34. Chapman Valley 1-5-11. And we've played 8 minutes in this second term with thanks to Melissa Price on Drennan O'Malley Motors Game Day. Ball comes back into play, picked up again by Bartolo. He goes by hand, backwards to Walker. Walker goes out wide and finds a teammate there in Caddy. Caddy kicks the ball forward, but it's cut off by Chapman Valley defender. And Chapman Valley have the ball on half-back. That's Jake Hipper. Plays on with a short pass and finds Forrester. Ryan Forrester with the ball on half-back. So Chapman Valley getting plenty of possession, not getting the score on the board. Ball goes the way now of Forrester, who runs around his opponent, kicks the ball forward and finds Nathan Gray. Gray comes across the ground and finds the player there in Taylor Kelly. Kelly, the Victorian, puts it on his left boot, looking there for Tom Page, finds that player. So Chapman Valley getting a bit of movement now. Page goes by pass to finds Reese Everston. Everston kicks it up towards the teeth of goal, looking there for Jay O'Brien, carries that 2 players. In goes the Northampton defence. Jordan Murrumbine's there. Ball held to him. Umpire Luxton will come in and throw the ball up 25 metres from goal at the northern end of the ground.
Yes, another goal here would be interesting. The ball coming off the pack goes away now. The Northampton defender, in fact, that's Thorne off the pack. He sends it down the ground and it's fisted away in the end there by the Northampton player in Brown, and he sends it toward the boundary. So the ball about to be thrown in now. Beautiful conditions for football here this afternoon. A bit of a chill factor in the air, which I love at a footy match. The ball about to be thrown in now. Players setting themselves. Let's see what can happen. In they come. It's fisted away by the Northampton ruckman. He gets it down now to Harris. Harris onto his boot into the half-forward area. Simpson's has come right down the ground to get the ball, but Sorensen's there to thwart his attempts. Goes away of Campbell. They get bottled up together, both of those players. The ball goes to ground, and a free kick will go the way of Hipper. Jake Hipper. Good to see him back in Chapman Valley colours. He's in the middle of the ground. He tries to kick it forward. It eventually goes away of Hutchins. Hutchins, a nice little handball to a teammate. He quickly puts it onto his boot, tries to get it forward into the half-forward area, but the players for Northampton try and bottle it up, and they are successful as the ball is brought to ground just outside the forward 50 once again for Chapman Valley.
Umpire put the ball into the air. McConnell does the rucking for Chapman Valley, takes it clearly. There he grabs the ball, kicks it up towards teeth of goal, looking there for Everston. Ball carries that player. Ball running free. Picked up by Jay O'Brien. Shoots on goal, but he tries to screw it around.
Unlucky.
But he's offline. Good effort there from Jay O'Brien. Used the ball on the other side of his right boot to try and get it through, but another minus score. So Chapman Valley go to 12. They trail Northampton 34. So a comfortable lead to the Rams at this stage as we head towards the 10-minute mark of this second term with thanks to Melissa Price, the member for Durack. Northampton's Jack McKee to bring the ball back into play. McKee goes out wide, looking there for some movement. Chapman Valley player can't get a handle on it. Northampton player gets a handball forward, finds Bobby Gibson. Bobby Gibson's short pass, looking there for Campbell. He couldn't mark. In goes Chapman Valley player, gets a handball out. The ball is picked up by Bobby Gibson again, so Northampton are on the rebound. Bobby Gibson screws the ball around, looking there for Dylan Corbett. Finds that player. Corbett's got a fair bit of pace. Goes back to Gibson. Gibson looking for something to open up. He finds Kai McVie in the centre of the ground. McVie goes the way now of Brown. Brown running deep forward. Goes up towards the half-forward line.
Oh,
Taylor Kelly slaps the ball forward. Northampton player says the ball was held to him, and the umpire said he didn't have prior opportunity, so the umpire throws the ball up.
Yes, unlucky for Michael O'Connell there. The ball coming off the pack, goes away of Jace Price, gets it to a teammate onto his boot. That goes off Josh Normington's boot into the half-forward area, but he's hipper there again. He gets it to a teammate. It's Chapman Valley who have the ball, but a player is set upon all at sea, and Simpson brings him to ground. The ball will be thrown up just inside the forward 50 for Northampton. It has been a bit of a drought on the scoreboard for a little while, Glenn, as the ball is thrown up, and a free kick has been found going the way of Chapman Valley. Forrester out of defence. He sends it down the wing. Finds a player there in Jay O'Brien. O'Brien on a half-back flank, slowing things down, looking for options further afield. He's almost going to kick it out on the full as he goes the way of Bartlett. Bartlett unable to collect it, swinging in to try and contribute is Nathan Gray. Collects the ball and also travels over the boundary.
Boundary umpire to put the ball back into play. The umpire is wearing pink today for Breast Cancer Day as the ball comes back into play, playing with a pink ball too. So the best on ground, I would imagine, will win the pink footy today. Ball comes out, goes the way of Tyler Caddy for Northampton, throws it on his boot. In goes Nick Mosley. Also does Trent Simpson, sees the ball across the boundary line. So there'll be a boundary throw-in about 70 metres around from the southern end of the ground. And the boundary umpire to put the ball back into play. Time ticking by in this term. Northampton have added some 2 goals in this term. Chapman Valley haven't added a goal. They've added 3 behinds. So they're putting themselves under pressure, not getting the score on the board. Ball comes forward to centre wing. Looking there for Reece Everston. Everston couldn't catch the ball before it went out of bounds. So the ball will be thrown back in. Just in front of our Radio Mama broadcast situation here at Mazzucchelli Oval on the Farrell Grandstand here at Nabor.
As Glenn mentioned, the ball right in front of us here at Mazzucchelli Oval this afternoon. In it goes, players setting themselves. The big fella is right in the middle of it for Chapman Valley and Tom Page. He brings it to ground, but it's Wright who picks it up for Northampton. He goes through traffic, gets it to Jace Price. He's got a bit of space onto his boot into the half-forward area. Willie Thorne waits over the back of the pack, but Jake Hipper's there to try and stop him from doing anything. Hipper hits the deck in that passage of play and grabs his head as the ball comes wide now, goes away of Chapman Valley. They try to get out of danger as they kick it down the wing, but in comes Kai McVie wearing the very coveted number 23 and takes a nice mark.
Plays on quickly, looking there, he finds Trent Simpson. So Simpson is marked. Hipper's in the hands of the trainers. Ball goes the way of Simpson. Simpson gets it up towards half forward, looking up there for Nathaniel Morenbine. In goes Paul Sorensen, but the boundary line comes into play and there'll be a boundary throw in just around from the right point post at the southern end of the ground. Boundary umpire to put the ball back into play. Boundary umpire taking his time, waiting for the ruckman to get there. As the ball goes back into play from the throw-in, goes the way of Sorensen. He soccers the ball forward. Northampton have an opportunity through Simpson. Simpson goes by hand to Williams, smothered off the boot. Comes the way of Chapman Valley's Lee Hutchins. Hutchins kicks it up towards half-back where he finds Jay O'Brien. O'Brien centres the ball and finds Ryan Forrester. Forrester goes by hand to Ringo McKenna. He goes by hand to Lee Hutchins. Hutchins takes them on, gets a handball away, goes the way of Ryan Forrester. Forrester kicks it up towards half forward, looking there for McConnell. Ball run away from him by Bobby Gibson. Gibson kicks the ball up towards centre wing. Running to race the ball now is Nathan Gray. Gray gets a handball away to Jay O'Brien. He goes by hand to Richard Bartlett. Bartlett goes back towards Gray. Nathan Gray under pressure, soccers the ball forward. The umpire says he didn't have prior opportunity, and the ball will be thrown up in true centre wing here at Mazzucchelli Oval, club room side of the ground, on a traditional Northern Derby, and it's a good one. Northampton up against Chapman Valley. Northampton 5-4-34, lead Chapman Valley 1-6-12.
Bo Walker's been a little bit quiet in this term, Glenn, as we head toward the half-time break. Maybe he'll answer that challenge in just a moment, but the ball comes out of the pack, goes away of Hutchins now. He sends it into the half-forward area, but a nice defensive mark is taken down the line on this occasion by Ethan Brown. Brown sends it inboard now. The ball is with Northampton. They have a bit of a room as they send it into the half-forward area. Up goes Willie Thorne, half-heartedly in the end there. The mark can't be taken. Goes way of Gray for Chapman Valley. Hutchins is in everything this afternoon. He gets the ball, gets it out to Jay O'Brien. At centre wing, the unassuming O'Brien sends it into the full-forward area, but straight down the throat of the player who marked it recently, and that, of course, was Ethan Brown. He takes another mark and relieves the pressure for Northampton.
Ethan Brown on half-back. Big kick from half-back up towards centre wing. Looking up there for Willie Thorne. In goes Campbell. He put the ball to ground. Umpire says play on. Ball spills. Goes the way there of Sorensen. Sorensen goes by hand to Tommy Page. And he gets caught in possession. Free kick goes the way of Jordan Murrumbine. Murrumbine plays on quickly. Gets it up the ground and finds Jace Price on half forward. Jace Price still a long way from goal. Looking for some movement. Northampton go centre into the ground now and finds Kai McVee. McVee goes across the ground, but he picks out Mitchell Thompson. Thompson's got to pick it up. He's under a fair bit of pressure. Gets the ball back over the back. Finds Reece Everston. Everston goes back. Big kick. Looking out wide, but there's nobody home for Chapman Valley. So the ball comes back into play. Goes the way of Northampton. Northampton do well through McKee. He goes out wide and finds Brown. And Brown's on the other side of Mazzucchelli Oval.
Brown working overtime in the last couple of minutes here on Mazzucchelli Oval. Drennan O'Malley game day. The ball at centre wing below the scoreboard, which sees the Rams 5-4 leading Chapman Valley 1-6. So they've owned this half, have Northampton, but Chapman Valley have had it in their forward 50 quite a bit. They just need to convert. The ball now with the Valley. Reece Everston sends it into the half-forward area. Comes off hands. It's a host of Northampton players that dive on top of the ball. But Lee Hutchins, along with a teammate, works hard to keep it in the forward 50. And the whistle blows. There'll be a ball up just metres away.
Free kick.
A free kick has gone the way of Chapman Valley. So the player was pushed into the dirt. And he'll have a shot on goal. And that player is Tom Walker, the vice-captain for Chapman Valley. So Tom Walker, he'll kick from about 15 to 20 metres. He's directly in front. As I said, the breeze not a factor really this afternoon. An important goal for Chapman Valley. In comes big Tom Walker. He lets it go just a little bit too nonchalant, and it goes through for a minor score. So as the siren sounds, Chapman Valley miss a much-needed opportunity, and at half-time it is Northampton 5-4. They lead Chapman Valley 1-7 in the Northern Derby, and you're listening to Radio Mama, the home of GNFL football.
been serving the Geraldton and Midwest region since 1968 with quality pre-owned cars. They offer excellent aftercare service. Finance can be arranged at competitive rates. So for your next car, see Ron, John or Rachel, the friendly, experienced team at Drennan O'Malley Motors, because they can help you. At Drennan O'Malley Motors, they support the local community as sponsors of local sport, industry and community events. Call into their yard on Chapman Road to check out their quality vehicles. Drennan O'Malley Motors, DL 5921.
Station sponsor.
Good afternoon. Half-time at the football. Drennan O'Malley Motors game day. Glenn Barton and Peter Firenza. And Northampton on very good terms with themselves at half-time. Northampton lead by 21 points. They led by 12 points at quarter time. And at half-time, Northampton 5-4, 32-34. Lead Chapman Valley 1 goal, 7-13. Our quarter-by-quarter summaries with thanks to the City of Greater Geraldton. Northampton's goals have come from Nathaniel Murrumbine, Trent Simpson, Bo Walker, Liam Campbell and Jace Price. Chapman Valley's only goal in the first half came from Dylan Williamson. About to get this third quarter underway with thanks to Drennan O'Malley Motors. Umpire Cohen to get the ball in the air. The pink ball playing for breast cancer today, round 15 for the SMS group and breast cancer. Ball comes forward, ball slaps, goes the way of Northampton's Tyler Caddy. He breaks the tackle, gets it by hand to Bobby Gibson. Gibson gets the ball forward, or Northampton do. Goes the way of Ricky Whittaker. Whittaker can't pick up the ball. He does so now. Goes the way of Nick Mosley. Mosley gives it back towards Whittaker. Whittaker's tackled. Ball held to him. Umpire said he had no prior opportunity. And the umpire will come in and throw the ball up. On centre wing, on the scoreboard, on the clubroom side here at Nabwa Oval.
Up they go. Ball comes down. No one can get purchase of it. It goes to ground again and bottled up. Better players in that term for Northampton, Glen, in no particular order. Caddy, Price, Bertolo, Brown in defence, McVie and Corbett in patches.
And looking at Chapman Valley's contenders for Skeeter's Restaurant Player of the Day, I thought Ringo McKenna continues to play well. The big man Michael McConnell doing well on the ruck. Tom Page in the ruck and up forward. Ryan Forrester and Lee Hutchins. Ball goes the way of Bertolo for Northampton. He kicks it up towards half forward. Looking up there for some movement from Willie Thorne. Ball spills. Comes the way there of a Chapman Valley player who the umpire said was in fair game. And that was Nick Mosley. And the umpire will throw the ball up. So the ball will be thrown up. In fact, the free kick will go the way of Nick Mosley. So Mosley has the free kick. He looks like he's carrying, got his boot needs repairing. So the umpire's blown time off. So the ball will be, as he puts his boot back on, it came off. So he has no option but to put the boot back on. So Nick Mosley got the free kick and he's taken the boot and got it back in the situation he'd like it. So the ball with Mosley now. Mosley kicks it up towards centre wing, looking for the big man, Michael McConnell. Ball slapped away, goes the way of Richard Bartlett. Bartlett sees the ball go to ground, and we'll see the free kick go the way of Kai McVie. McVie goes by hand to Bobby Gibson. Gibson kicks the ball forward, goes back towards Bartlett. Bartlett goes back towards Forrester. Forrester handballs it the way of Gray. Gray goes the way there of the player there in Ricky Whittaker. Goes back towards the player in Forrester. Forrester couldn't pick up the ball. In goes Nathan Gray. Umpire says play on. There's not a lot of room given to the players these days. Picked up by Bobby Gibson. Bobby Gibson kicks it toward Jordan Drage. Goes the way of Campbell. Campbell couldn't control it. Jace Price could. Price kicks it up towards Nathaniel Murrumbine. Ball running free and off the ground. He's an ever opportunist, is Nathaniel Murrumbine. And he socketed the ball off the ground. Beautiful goal. And Northampton get another one on the scoreboard. Just what Chapman Valley didn't need in this third quarter, with thanks to Drennan O'Malley Motors. And Nathaniel Murrumbine gets his second goal of the afternoon.
Yes, and as you said, Glenn, opportunist to the nth degree is Nathaniel Murrumbine, and that was a nice toe poke and a good goal for Northampton. They have begun the third quarter where they left off. The second, leading by 21 points at half-time, 12 points at quarter-time. They really have held the ascendancy throughout to this point. And they, when they get the ball forward, the structure is a lot better than Chapman Valley at this stage, and it's paying dividends. Ball back in the middle now. As we've mentioned, this quarter brought to you by Drennan O'Malley Motors. Hello to John, Ron, Rachel and all the team at Drennan O'Malley Motors in Chapman Road. The ball going the way now of Williams for Northampton. Kicks it out of the centre square. Simpson runs onto it. He's come right down from the full forward area. Goes the way now of the player there in Chapman Valley, who's caught almost in possession. In fact, he's slung, and a free kick will go the way of Chapman Valley. On the half-back line now, they kick down in front of our broadcast position. Players setting themselves. Bartlett is in front of Bobby Gibson, but Gibson does well, gets the ball. Bartlett steals it off him. He in turn loses possession, and the ball finds the boundary.
So another boundary throw in as we go around the grounds, with thanks to the City of Greater Geraldton. Still waiting for a score from the Rovers Towns game, but the game played at GBSC Sports Park. Railways doing well at half-time. Railways 8-3, 57, lead 51 I should say, lead Brigades 2-4-16, so a good start to the game for Railways. Railways got away to a 22-point lead at quarter time and now have extended that lead. They've added another 3 goals in that term, and Brigades only added 1, so Railways on target to take the minor premiership at GBSC Sports Park this afternoon.
Ball coming in now, players setting themselves in the half-forward area for Chapman Valley. Lee Hutchins, he's been in a lot this afternoon, but he's grabbed his knee, Glenn, as he went to ground on that occasion. He's hobbled up, so let's hope that he's okay, but Chapman Valley lose possession. The ball goes the way now of the player there in Dylan Corbett for Northampton. He sends it into the full forward area. Up goes the Northampton player to take the mark in Price, and he does so in the end. He kicks it further afield into the full forward area. Nathaniel Moranbine comes through. Luckily enough, he's paid the mark. I thought they were both in it, Glenn, but Nathaniel Moranbine was the man in front, and he'll have his next shot on goal in as many opportunities he has had this afternoon. And will this be goal number 3? He's about 25 metres out, directly in front, kicking to the northern end.
Well, if I had a spare dollar, I'd put it on him kicking it, because he's a very good kicker of the ball, and he's kicking towards the northern end. He's got his sighter in. He kicked a beautiful goal, socket goal a few moments ago. He lines up for his next goal. This time it looks off the left-hand side, a minor score. So Nathaniel remains on 2 goals at the Batavia Timber and Selbridge scoreboard. It is Northampton 6 goals, 5, 41. They lead Chapman Valley 1-7-13. So Paul Sorensen brings the ball back into play for Chapman Valley. Brings it up towards centre wing. But there's nice all Northampton players there. And Ethan Brown takes a good, strong mark. Ethan Brown playing half-back. He's been a very consistent player for Northampton over the last couple of years. Kicks the ball forward, but a beautiful mark taken there by Taylor Kelly. Taylor Kelly on half-back, one of the better players for Chapman Valley. Kicks it back, but there's nobody home for Chapman Valley, or is there? Goes the way there of Nathan Gray. Nathan Gray goes the way of Jack McKee. Picked up by Ringo McKenna. Kicks the ball back and finds the player there, Ethan Brown, once again.
Ethan Brown is in everything this afternoon, working across the half-back line for Northampton. He kicks down the broadcast side of the ground in front of the club rooms here this afternoon. The ball goes to ground. It's almost picked up by the player there in Josh Normington. He loses possession. The ball spills free. Players try and slap it across the ground. The umpire says, well, there's a free kick that's going to go the way of Ringo McKenna. His player was right into his back on the bottom of the pack, and Ringo McKenna, the recipient of a free kick. On the half-back line now, he kicks it up into the air. Doesn't get much distance, but it does get enough distance to be marked on this occasion by the big fella, the big ruckman, who takes the mark, sends it into the half-forward area now. Running onto it is Bartlett. He goes one way, then the other, eventually collects it, sends it into the pocket. Up go a couple of players. No one can take the mark. The ball spills free. In fact, it's Jay O'Brien who'll be the recipient of a free kick, dealt with when he got rid of the ball.
O'Brien gets a kick forward, looking for Reece Everston. He's caught out of position. Ball comes the way of Jordan Murrumbine. Ball comes to the ground. Picked up again, this time by Michael Wright. Wright gets the kick up the ground. It's picked out a teammate, and that is young Jack McKee. Jack McKee on the ball, on half-back. Kicks it up towards centre wing, looking up there for some movement. Finds that player. Jace Price is tackled, caught in possession. Umpire said he didn't have prior opportunity, which is a fair call, and the umpire will come in and throw the ball up.
Jace Price has been probably the biggest possession getter on the park for Northampton to this point. Up they go now. Caddy at the bottom of the pack. He doesn't collect it. Walker does. Quickly puts it onto his boot into the half-forward area. Simpson is there. He can't take the mark. Impeded as he tries to stretch out and collect the ball. It goes toward the boundary. Doesn't reach that far. Comes inward now for Chapman Valley, going back the way of Ringo McKenna. Liked his game this afternoon. He gets it away to a teammate there in Taylor Kelly. Kelly gets it to the middle of the ground. Waiting in there is Whiteley. Whiteley for Chapman Valley. Sends it further afield. Can they set something up? It goes to the player there in Jay O'Brien. He sends it into the full forward area. And the mark is taken just outside the goal square, and Chapman Valley will now have a much-needed shot on goal, and it's Reece Everston who will have that shot.
Understatement, Peter. Chapman Valley haven't kicked a goal since the early stages of the game. The first minute they kicked the first goal, and we're into the 13th minute of the third quarter, the Drennan O'Malley Motors quarter, and Reece Everston gets Chapman Valley's second goal of the afternoon. It's been a long time between drinks. So Reece Everston is pretty happy with that, and so too are his teammates. And the scoreboard for Batavia, Timber and Selvage sees Chapman Valley go to 2-7, which is 19. They trail Northampton 6-5-41. And you're tuned to Radio Mama, the home of GNFL football, on Drennan O'Malley Motors Game Day.
Yeah, Peter Forenza and Glenn Barton bring you all the action from Mazzucchelli Oval this afternoon, and we're enjoying bringing you this on the last rounds of home and away fixtures for season 2022. Glenn, it's come, the finals have almost come all of a sudden.
They have, yeah. Only 2 rounds of home and away fixtures. And as you see, we have second and first semi-finals on the same weekend. Then we have a preliminary final, then we have a grand final. So there's not a lot of footy left in season 2022. I guess it's getting to the important part at this stage. Ball back in the centre. The big fellas go at it. Ball goes the way now of Ringo McKenna. Can he put a handle on it? He does so now. Throws the boot to ball. Finds Tommy Page. Tommy Page couldn't mark the ball. Goes through his hands. Ball running free. In goes the Northampton defence. Goes the way of Bo Walker. Feeds it out. Finds Jamie Williams. In goes Ringo McKenna. Good courage showed by McKenna. Umpire said the ball was held to him, and the ball will be thrown up again on centre wing, clubroom side of Mazzucchelli Oval.
Up the ball goes again, as Glenn mentioned. It's knocked forward, but goes the way of Ringo McKenna. Probably the biggest possession getter for Chapman Valley so far today. Sends it into the half-forward area. A nice specky mark is taken by Bartlett. Bartlett needs to up the antes. He sends it into the half-forward area, going the way of Chapman Valley in the guise of Sam Solomon. He goes inboard, but who's there to collect it? Doesn't find the intended target. Goes away now of Bobby Gibson for Northampton. Gets it to right for the Rams. Down the line, he finds a teammate there. Quickly puts his fellow teammate under pressure, but the umpire says no prior opportunity, and a free kick will go the way of Jamie Williams.
Jamie Williams with the ball on half back. Play on's the call. Ball goes the way now of Williams. He kicks it up towards centre wing, looking there for Tommy Page. He couldn't mark the ball. Goes the way of Kai McPhee. McPhee's tackle didn't have prior opportunity, and the umpire will come in and throw the ball up. So the ball will be thrown up on centre wing, and umpire Cohen to put the ball into the air. Tommy Page to do the rucking for Chapman Valley. There he does. Goes the way of Lee Hutchins. Ball comes to the ground. Goes the way of Bay Walker. Ball spills out. Goes the way of Sorensen. Picked up now by the player there in Normington. Goes the way of William Thorne. Uses his skill to good effect. Finds Dylan Corbett on centre wing. Corbett brings the ball up towards half forward now. Looking for Campbell. Campbell couldn't mark the ball. Ball running free. Campbell breaks the tackle now. Puts it on his left boot. Kicks it towards Nathaniel Murrumbine. But Murrumbine couldn't get a hold of it that time. Reece Everston gets a handball away. Goes the way of Campbell. Campbell soccers the ball forward, or knocks the ball forward. Goes the way of William Thorne. Ball spills out. Still goes the way of Campbell. He puts the handball to the ball. Picked up now by Ewan Whiteley. Whiteley runs around in circles. Gets a handball out. Goes the way of Ringo McKenna. McKenna goes back with a handball. Whistle on play. And Ringo McKenna was held while not in possession.
Ringo McKenna fighting pretty hard this afternoon. Gets it away to Sorensen now. Sorensen just outside the defensive 50. Drops the ball twice but is able to collect it. Quickly puts it onto his boot. A nice big kick is Sorensen, and a nice mark is taken down the ground by Thompson. Thompson, not far from our broadcast position, needs to play on quickly now. A goal important in this stage of the game for Chapman Valley if they are to stay in touch, but it goes the way of the defensive players for Northampton. Gibson, he started to get a few possessions, crosses to Brown. Ditto for him. He kicks to the outer side now. Goes away of Caddy. Goes one way then the other. Gives it back to Brown. Brown is forced into a corner somewhat. Looking for his options down ground on the outer side. He looks for a player there and finds him in the end. And I think it's Caddy who's marked again. So Caddy on the far side. Not far from the scoreboard, which sees his side with a handy lead. 6-5 to 2-7. That is Northampton. A nice little chip pass. He sends it into the half-forward area. The mark isn't taken on this occasion by McQuaid. It goes to ground. And Northampton still have it as a handball goes out. Goes away now of Northampton, who go backward before they come forward. They'll come laterally now. Has Corbett got room? He's got two to beat. He can't do that. It goes the way now of Hutchins for Chapman Valley. Sends it into the half-forward area. Goes the way now of Reece Everston. He's got the goals in front of him. He sees Bartlett. He spins around on a 50-cent piece and puts it through for a much-needed goal for Chapman Valley.
Yeah, a very important kick there from Bartlett and got a very much-needed goal. So another goal following up from the one from Reece Everston. So Richard Bartlett made something out of nothing, but a good bit of play. Chapman Valley's work rate has been good throughout the game, just haven't got the score on the board. And the Batavia Timber and Salvage scoreboard sees Northampton 6-5-41. They lead Chapman Valley 3-7 and a good margin still, 3-7-25. So Chapman Valley kicked the last two goals and they need to kick the next one to keep themselves in this contest.
They certainly do. And that was a nice goal by Richie Bartlett. That's why he's out there on the ground to produce a bit of magic, and he did on that occasion. As I said, spun around on a 50-cent piece, check side kick, straight through the middle. The ball out of the middle once again goes away of Kai McVee, but the bounce isn't kind for McVee. Goes to ground, eventually goes the way now of the player there in Caddy. Caddy into the full forward area, and up he goes and takes a lovely mark, and that's Liam Campbell. I've liked his game today, Glenn.
He's a good tall young man.
He is a tall, strong man, and quite wiry, in fact.
Very wiry, yeah.
But he is pretty strong, and he will shoot on goal from about 30 metres, I think, or 25 when he gets onto this one on a reasonable angle, kicking toward the northern end. Will he stuff out? The efforts by Chapman Valley just a moment ago. Yes, he will. And he has scored a goal for Northampton, and that sees them go to 7-5, leading Chapman Valley 3-7. And just when we thought Chapman Valley were getting some traction, Glenn, Northampton pulled them back.
They do, and a very good goal there to Liam Campbell, and he took a very good mark and finished it off very well. So well done to Liam Campbell. So the margin is back to a tough one for Chapman Valley. Chapman Valley have only kicked 3 goals in the first 3 quarters, so they need to get the foot on the pedal and start getting a few scores on the board, but Northampton put pay to that with that goal. So Northampton have kicked 2 goals this quarter, so too have Chapman Valley. So Chapman Valley haven't made any inroads at all. Ball in the centre. Kai McVee wins it forward, goes the way of Nathan Gray. Nathan Gray is tackled and taken to the ground. The umpire will come in and throw the ball up once again. So, half-time scores from the game played at GBSC Sports Park. Railway's doing well. Railway's 8-3-51. Lead Brigades 2-4-16 as Northampton go forward again. Ball picked up there by Ryan Forrester. Goes the way there of Sorensen. Sorensen goes the way of Ewan Whiteley. Ewan Whiteley gets the ball forward and finds Jaden Thompson. Thompson gets the way of Tommy Page. Tommy Page goes the way of Whiteley again. Whiteley kicks it up towards half forward where he finds Jay O'Brien. O'Brien centres the ball and finds Sam Solomon. Sam Solomon has time to run towards goal. And Sam Solomon gets another one on the board for Chapman Valley. So another important goal. Keeps Chapman Valley in the contest at the time being as we head into time on in this third quarter, the Drennan O'Malley Motors quarter. And now Chapman Valley go to 4 goals, 7-31. They trail Northampton 7-5-47.
Then a big contributor up to this point for Chapman Valley, I reckon, has been Jay O'Brien. He's figured in a lot of passages of play and that was just another example of it as he got the ball, unselfishly got it away to Everston, who finished off with another goal. Glenn, I'm just coming back to the game that's being played at GBSC Sports Park. Brigades went down to Rovers last week. They're at a low ebb because they last week didn't have both Schofield boys, but it hasn't been confirmed, but we understand that they won't be having Jaden Schofield probably for the rest of the season.
So we believe. So Kim Schofield is back today, and so too is Jamie Ryder. So, you know, you would think they're a pretty good side. Will Anderson's playing this afternoon too. As Chapman Valley win the ball out of the centre again. Goes from Lee Hutchin to Sam Solomon. Gives it the way of Mitch Thompson. He couldn't mark the ball. In goes Jaden Thompson. Can he pick up the ball? Jaden Thompson gets a handball out towards Richard Bartlett. Bartlett's tackled. Gets a handball away. Goes the way of Bobby Gibson. Gibson sockers the ball forward. Goes the way of Jamie Williams. Ball running free. Chapman Valley player finds the ball coming out. Comes the way of Richard Bartlett again. Can he pick it up? He's under pressure. Ball spills. Goes the way of Nathan Gray. But Bartlett's taught for inappropriate getting rid of the ball. So the free kick will come back. It'll go the way of Jamie Williams. So Chapman Valley went forward very quickly there, Peter. They needed to get a score on the board, and they didn't.
No, they certainly needed one there, Glenn. They need to get a couple of goals in succession to stay in the hunt, one would think, this afternoon. Just not finishing off well enough, one would think. The ball coming out of defence, players setting themselves. Hutchins, he's been good this afternoon, goes to ground, picked up by Mitchell. I've liked him too, but he tried to take them on and was caught in possession. And Bo Walker, the recipient of a free kick. Bo Walker comes down the wing, an easy kick to Willie Thorne. Willie Thorne doesn't get on the first attempt, does on the second, quickly puts it onto his boot, down the line. He finds a teammate equal to the task down the line, and that player is Dean Higby. Higby puts it onto his boot into the full forward area. Through comes Simpson, and the full forward takes a nice mark. So Simpson now will have another shot on goal, and if they score here, they certainly are a big thorn in the side of Chapman Valley's aspirations to get into the four, Glenn.
So Trent Simpson has been good again this afternoon. He's kicked one goal. Can he make it two and put another nail in coffin of Chapman Valley for 2022? So Trent Simpson lining up for goal. Looking pretty good from here. 45-degree angle. So Trent Simpson, beautiful kicker of the football. Gets the kick, but his kick fades away to the right-hand side. 1 point only. So the Rams go to 7 goals, 6-48. They lead Chapman Valley 4-7-31. Chapman Valley desperate to get a goal late in this term. Northampton will have the breeze perhaps at their back as they come home. But the ball is with Chapman Valley's Paul Sorensen now from full-back. He kicks it straight up the ground. Looking there for Ringo McKenna. Ball goes out the back. Northampton have the numbers. McKenna, very courageous, throws himself on the ball. And a big pack develops on top of him. So the ball will be thrown up once again. So the ball is with umpire Luxton, puts the ball into the air. The big fellas go at it, comes to ground, picked up by Northampton. Northampton handball it out, goes the way there of the hard-running player there, and Sam Solomon goes the way of Ringo McKenna. McKenna gets a handball forward. In goes Campbell, throws himself at the ball, and you can't knock the players this afternoon, Peter. Both clubs have gone at the ball very hard.
They certainly have. Campbell certainly has been one of those as he fists it away again. Both ruckmen go at it, but it's Normington who comes out of the middle for Northampton into the full forward area. Simpson picks it up, puts it onto his boot, sends it down the corridor. It's gathered up as he does so. The ball is bottled up in that section of the ground. The umpire blows his whistle, and he says a free kick, I think, is going to go the way. Let's see what happens. Yeah, Bo Walker. So Bo Walker puts Ringo McKenna in possession. He's done that a couple of times today, Glenn. He's a good tackler, is Bo Walker, and he'll have a shot on goal. So Bo Walker probably hasn't as many possessions as some of his teammates, but the ones that he has had this afternoon have been important ones, Glenn, and he is quite a talented player, probably one of the best in the competition. And he goes now, kicking toward the northern end, looks pretty good off the boot. It's straight through the middle, and that's a goal that you would think, even in this early stages of, or middle stages of the second half, enough for Chapman Valley in the context of this match, enough for Northampton, I should say, to go through and win. They lead now 8-6 to Chapman Valley 4-7.
So Beau Walker gets his second of the afternoon, and as Peter mentioned, another score on the board for the Rams. Northampton on the Batavia Timber and Salvage scoreboard. Northampton are 8-6-54. They lead Chapman Valley 4-7-31. Ball returns to the centre. So Chapman Valley haven't made any headway at all in this quarter. Chapman Valley have had 3 goals, but for Northampton they have also added 3 goals. So that's the story of the term, this third term, with thanks to Drennan O'Malley Motors from Mazzucchelli Oval. Ball comes back to the centre, and the ball won forward now by Kieran Harris for Northampton. Kicks it up towards half forward, but Ryan Forrester stands his ground and takes a very strong mark and a push in the back as well. But the umpire said nothing in that, so the ball goes the way of Forrester. Forrester takes it out wide, looking there for Ewan Whiteley. Ewan Whiteley on centre wing. He's a quick player, goes by hand, picks out Jake Hipper. Jake Hipper gets a kick away now for Chapman Valley. Up towards half forward, looking up there for Mitchell Thompson. But the ball comes towards the boundary line. And there'll be a boundary throw-in on the outer side of Mazzucchelli Oval. Very good crowd here today as a special day for breast cancer and the memory of Rosalind Holt. And lots of Rosalind Holt's family and supporters are here today, raising funds and awareness for breast cancer on this special round 14 event, for round 15, I should say, for the SMS Group WA and breast cancer. Ball comes back into play, and Northampton quickly get the ball forward, but only as far as Chapman Valley's Paul Sorensen, who quickly kicks it up towards half forward. Ball running free. Picked up now by Ringo McKenna. He goes by hand, finds Sam Solomon. Sam Solomon looking to get the ball on now for Chapman Valley. Is there someone on the end of this? There is, as Reece Everson marks, and Reece Everson will shoot on goal, and Reece Everson is 30 metres out in the pocket, on the left forward pocket. So Reece Everson has kicked one this afternoon.
Here's the door still ajar, Glenn.
Well, it's interesting. It'll be interesting if he can kick this one. So he's lining up for goal. Can he become the first multiple goal scorer for Chapman Valley? So Reece Everson coming through a lot of injury this year to play footy at the moment.
Got it.
And Reece Everson gets his second of the afternoon. So the door perhaps is still ajar, but still Chapman Valley need 3 goals to get back in control of this contest. Northampton have led throughout. They led by 12 points at quarter time, 21 points at half time, and the margin is still a reasonably big one as we see the scoreboard tick over for Batavia Timber and Salvage. Reece Everson gets his second goal for Chapman Valley. Batavia Timber and Salvage scoreboard, Northampton are 8-6-54. They lead Chapman 5-7-37. So it's a pretty handy lead. 3 goals in favour of Northampton.
Drennan O'Malley Motors bring you this particular quarter. If you're looking for a quality used car, they've been in the business for, well, as long as I can ever remember. And you'll find them in Chapman Road, and Ron is always still there to look after you. Now Rachel helps him out, John can help out as well, and they have top quality used cars, and at the moment it's pretty hard to get hold of a top quality used car in the market, but go and see Ron, John or Rachel. I'm sure they'll look after you. Back in the middle now, it is 54 plays 37, the Rams in front here in the Northern Derby. The ball is bolted up once again. Gee, I like the game of Campbell this afternoon, Glenn. He is a strong, hard player. Michael Tuckish in his endeavours.
Very
the ball
much so,
coming
yes.
out of the pack, comes to ground. Players diving on top of it, and one of those is the player in Sam Solomon, and he doesn't let it out of his keeping, and the ball be thrown up once again. Not far from the centre square. And the siren sounds to announce that at three-quarter time, and at three-quarter time in our Drennan O'Malley game day, it is Northampton who have started the march home. They are 8-6. Can Chapman Valley get back? They are 5-7. And we'll only know when the fourth quarter returns at the other side of this break on Radio Mama, the home of GNFL.
Very good afternoon. Welcome back. Very important day. It is round 15 of the GNFL Premiership season. The SMS Group WA, and it's the breast cancer round, and a special day here at Mazzucchelli Oval. And at three-quarter time, Northampton still hold a 17-point margin. Northampton 8 goals, 6-54. Lead Chapman Valley 5-7-37. So 17 points the margin in favour of the Rams. Looking at what is happening in other games, with thanks to the City of Greater Geraldton, we do have a half-time score from the game at Greenough Oval, and Rovers doing it well. Rovers 11-3, 69, lead Towns 3-3, 21, and still waiting for a three-quarter time score from the game at GBSC Sports Park, but the half-time score was Railways 8-3, 57 to Brigades 2-4, 16. Our quarter-by-quarter summaries, with thanks to the City of Greater Geraldton. For Northampton, Nathaniel Murrumbine has 2, Bo Walker has 2, singles to Trent Simpson, Liam Campbell and Jace Price, while for Chapman Valley, Reece Everston has 2, singles to Dylan Williamson, Richard Bartlett and Sam Solomon. Contenders for the Skeeters Restaurant Player of the Day. Peter, who have you liked for Northampton in the first three quarters?
Well, Glenn, the consistent ones over three quarters have been Walker, Price and Campbell, but there's been a lot of bit players in and around the ground like Caddy, Bertolo and also Brown in defence.
For Chapman Valley, Ringo McKenna, Michael McConnell, Tom Page, Ryan Forrester, Sam Solomon and Lee Hutchins. Ball back in the centre this last quarter with thanks to GT Russell Chartered Accountants. And the ball is up and we're underway. And it'll be a very, very tight contest. Next goal is a very important one. Can Chapman Valley keep their hopes alive? Ball comes the way of Jamie Williams. He's tackled. Spills goes the way of Aidan Bertolo for Northampton. Gets it up towards the half-forward line, and a Northampton player is held while not into possession, and that is Trent Simpson. Trent Simpson, 52 metres from goal, plays on quickly now. Kicks it up towards full forward, looking up there for Campbell. Ball smothered off the boot, picked up by Jace Price, off hands, and a minus score. And the umpire will get the ball brought back in by Chapman Valley defender there in Paul Sorensen. Just repeating, half-time score from the game out at Greenough. And Rovers 11-3, 69, lead Towns 3-3, 21.
Paulie Sorensen bringing out a defence, players setting themselves. Takes a nice mark, does the player running down in Tom Walker. Of course, Paul Sorensen, Glenn, went to high school with Josh Kennedy.
Oh, very good.
Yeah, so it's interesting to note. Josh Kennedy finishing his career tomorrow. Ball coming out of defence into space. Goes away now of Bartlett for Chapman Valley. Gets it away now to Lee Hutchins. Hutchins inboard looking for Ringo McKenna. But Bertolo takes a nice mark. Liked his game today, Glenn. And he stands fast on a centre half-back flank.
Yeah, he's played really well. Bertolo plays on. Short pass finds Jamie Williams. So Jamie Williams on half-back. Looking to get the ball forward. Northampton, they were disappointing in their finals campaign last year. Will they be able to go a little bit better and win a game this year come the finals? They're playing some pretty good footy, and the umpire will come in and throw the ball up. Ball will be thrown up just in front of our Radio Mama broadcast box. The ruckman to go at it. Williams, in fact, it's Brown up against Page. Page gets the best of it. Goes the way Nathan Gray was pushed in the back. So Nathan Gray will get the free kick on centre wing. Nathan Gray, a star for GNFL and the Chapman Valley side over a period of time, comes up from Perth these days to play for Chapman Valley. Ball goes forward, goes the way of a Chapman Valley player, and the ball goes out of bounds on the full, and the ball will be brought back in. In fact, it's a ball will be thrown back in as we go around the grounds with thanks to the City of Greater Geraldton. And at three-quarter time, it's Railways 9-5, 59. They lead Brigades 3-9, 27. So a big lead there to Railways. The ball goes forward. And Chapman Valley's Reece Everston takes a good strong mark. And Reece Everston will shoot on goal and bring the margin back to 10 points.
He got it.
There he goes. He plays on quickly. Reece Everston gets his third of the afternoon. And on the Batavia Timber and Selby scoreboard, Chapman Valley go to 6 goals, 7, 43. They trail Northampton 8-7, 55. So an interesting scoreline now. Northampton 55, Chapman Valley 43.
A 12-point ball game, Glenn, as it was in the first term. So Chapman Valley have clawed their way back. And, well, they are in striking distance, that's for sure. If they continue on this trajectory, the ball coming back to the middle. And I've liked the upping the ante performance of Lee Hutchins. especially over the last 2 quarters. He's been pretty important for Chapman Valley. Reece Moody starting to get a bit of the ball in the middle as well. Ringo McKenna has been good as well, but can they hold this pendulum swing? They have momentum. We always talk about momentum. Whether they can get it by the scruff of the neck is only up to Chapman Valley. The ball back in the middle now. 55 plays 43 here at Mazzucchelli Oval. The Northern Derby, always a big one here in the GNFL. Up they go, players setting themselves. Kai McVee knocks it down to ground. In goes Caddy, goes one way then the other, gets it away to Corbett now. Corbett for Northampton shows a clean set of heels as he whips across the half-back flank, kicks it into the half-forward area, but only down the throat of the Chapman Valley defender, who comes laterally now. Finds a teammate there in Sam Solomon. The bounce isn't kind for Solomon, but Chapman Valley do the better in the end. Goes away of Tom Page. Back to Solomon. Puts it onto his boot. He's looking for Bartlett. Bartlett waits. Pounces on top of the ball. Goes one way then the other. Gets it into Page. Page has a bit of time. He sends it down the ground. He might have got rid of it a little bit too early for Reece Moody, but Moody runs onto the ball. So too does Hutchins. And eventually it goes the way of Mitchell Thompson.
Thompson plays on by hand. Looking there for Lee Hutchins. Hutchins gets a handball forward and the whistle blows and he's caught in possession, so free kick goes the way of Michael Wright. Michael Wright plays on by hand, goes the way there of the player in Bobby Gibson. Gibson kicks it up towards centre wing, finds Tommy Page. Page marks, plays on by hand now, goes the way of Paul Sorensen. Sorensen kicks it up towards half forward, goes through the players there. Who can pick it up? Picked up now by Northampton, picked up by Liam Campbell. Northampton out of trouble briefly. Ball goes up towards half forward. Willie Thorne leads the race for the ball. Out goes Jake Hipper to meet him. Ball still socket forward by Willie Thorne. Willie Thorne picks it up now, breaks a tackle, looking for some options. He kicks it forward, finds the player there in Kieran Harris. Harris shoots on goal, but he's offline, out of bounds on the full. So Chapman Valley will get the ball back into play in the early stages of this final term, with thanks to GT Russell Chartered Accountants. We've played 5 minutes in this all-important last quarter.
The goal for Chapman Valley in the next couple of moments would make things very interesting indeed. Goes away of Sorensen. He kicks to the outer side. He's looking for support out there. The youngster, Ewan Whiteley, running onto the ball. He loses possession, though. Goes away of Bertolo. Bertolo sends it inboard. Comes inboard. Jamie Williams is there. He beats 2 defenders, sends it into the half-forward area. It isn't a really good kick. Doesn't meet the intended target. Sorensen gets it again, kicks it down the wing. There's Price. In fact, it's Bortolo who takes another mark. He's been in everything this afternoon as Aidan Bortolo. He comes laterally now, comes inboard and finds that player in Price. Price now just outside the centre square. Slowing things down, sends it into the half-forward area. Nice lace-out kick. Player running out to get the ball is none other than Bo Walker, and he makes sure of the mark, and he'll have another shot on goal, Glenn.
So an opportunity for Bo Walker. He's kicked a couple this afternoon.
Gee, he leads beautifully, doesn't he?
He does, and so Bo Walker is 45 metres out. A very important kick, this one. They lead by 12 points. He'll stretch that margin to 18 points and make it very hard for Chapman Valley if he gets this one. So Bo Walker came back from injury. He was injured early in the year, but Northampton has certainly been far better since his return to the Rams lineup. So Bo Walker from 45 metres out. Looks pretty good off the boot. Won't make the score. It goes through for a minus score. And the scoreboard for Batavia, Timber and Selvage sees Northampton go to 56 points. They lead Chapman Valley 43 as the ball quickly comes back into play. And a good mark taken there by Tommy Page. Tommy Page plays on quickly, looking there for Ricky Whittaker, finds that player. Whittaker plays on, finds Sam Solomon. Solomon puts the ball on his boot, goes forward and finds Reece Everson. Everson goes by hand to Lee Hutchins. Hutchins kicks a big one up towards Jay O'Brien. In goes Michael
nice mark.
Wright, and he takes a very strong mark. Michael Wright in the last line of defence.
Michael Wright, a bit part player this afternoon. Got a bit of skill. He sends it further afield and finds this player. He's been one of the best for his side, and we're talking about Campbell. Campbell for Northampton. Kicks it straight down the throat, though, of Lee Hutchins. Hutchins sends it into the full forward area, and up to take the mark is the Chapman Valley forward.
Jaden Thompson.
Jaden Thompson now will have a shot on goal. So, Glenn, if he nails this one, it's game on here at Mazzucchelli Oval.
It certainly is. It'll be a very, very interesting contest. If he gets this one, Jaden Thompson from 25 metres, it'll be a 7-point ball game. There goes the kick. Looks pretty good off the boot. So Chapman Valley keep their hopes alive. And on the Batavia Timber and Salvage scoreboard, Chapman Valley go to 7 goals, 7-49. They trail the Rams 8-8-56. It's a 7-point ball game here at Mazzucchelli Oval. And we have played almost 7 minutes in this final term with thanks to GT Russell Chartered Accountants on Drennan O'Malley Motors game day.
56 plays, 49. This quarter brought to you by GT Russell Chartered Accountants. Hello to Grant. He'll be listening in this afternoon. He won't really. He'll be running around and looking after everyone at GBSC Sports Park as he does that really good job of being a trainer with the Railway Football Club. Ball back in the middle now. And exciting stuff here. Crowd. Nice crowd in attendance this afternoon to watch this very traditional clash between the two rivals, the Northern Derby. Northampton playing Chapman Valley. Goes away of Corbett now. He weaves through a couple of players, goes laterally, but a nice mark is taken by the youngster in Ewan Whiteley. Liked his game down at the Country Championships, Glenn. He played with the under-19s for Great Northern. Going back the way now of Solomon. Solomon into the full forward area. Up go a couple of players. The mark can't be taken. Goes to ground. Chapman Valley desperate to try and get another goal on the board. Northampton are under the pump as they go to ground and bottle it up. And the umpire will throw it up just outside the forward 50 for Chapman Valley, kicking toward the northern end.
Umpires doing a great job this afternoon. Umpires Paul Luxton and Brian Cohen. Ball comes forward, picked up by a Northampton player. Ball held to him, and the umpire will throw the ball up 55 metres from goal. Chapman Valley, have they got time to get the score on the board? Northampton lead, but Chapman Valley have been very good in the last few minutes getting the score on the board and getting the score a little bit closer as we see the ball go the way there of Normington. Goes the way of Trent Simpson. He handballs the ball forward, runs the way of Willie Thorne. Thorne is caught in possession. Umpire says play on.
Wow.
And the umpire says his ball's held to him.
He gave him a lot of opportunity there, didn't he?
The ball will be thrown up 25 metres from goal. Northampton's in. Ball comes forward now. Ball socket goes the way of a Chapman Valley player. Throws himself in. Whistle on play. Umpire says play on. Goes the way of Tommy Walker. He goes the way. Finds Northampton's Liam Campbell. He throws the boot to ball. Goes towards goal. Chapman Valley's Nick Worsley's there. Nick Mosley has the ball held to him. Umpire said he didn't have prior opportunity, and there'll be a throw up just in the teeth of goal at Northampton's end. Northampton kicking to the southern end in this final term.
Yeah, it's not far from in the shadows of the goals for Northampton as we see a player brought to ground. The ball spills free and trickles over the boundary. In a dangerous position though, Glenn, because it will be thrown in deep attack for Northampton. So Chapman Valley will really need to make sure they get this out of defence. A goal here could be costly in the context of this particular match. They trail on the scoreboard, but just only 7 points, so they need another goal soon. They get the ball out of defence to the Royals, outside the defensive 50. Goes the way of the big fella we've been impressed with this afternoon in Campbell. He can't get rid of it. The umpire says give it to me, and there'll be a ball up outside the forward 50 for Northampton. So both sides trying to slow things down and play the game on their terms. And Corbett gets the ball, roves off the pack, puts it to his boot into the full forward area. Up they go. Simpson tries to take the mark and moves forward, is impeded in trying to get to the ball. The umpire said he didn't have it, son, and Simpson now will have a shot on goal. So here's a goal sneak and a half is Trent Simpson, wearing the number 4. He'll kick toward the southern end, and this kick is an interesting one. If he nails this, one would think it may just give Northampton the buffer they need to come home. If he doesn't, Chapman Valley can send something back. So here we go. The kick from Simpson. Oh, it looks pretty good off the boot.
Beautiful
It's a fine kick. It's a fine kick up into the air and straight through the middle. And Trent Simpson has scored the 9th goal of the afternoon for the Rams. They go to 9 goals 8. They lead Chapman Valley 7-7.
A beautiful kick, Peter, as you said, under pressure from a fair way out. Simpson gets another score on the board. That's his 2nd of the afternoon. In fact, it's his 3rd of the afternoon, so well done Trent Simpson, the leading goal scorer at the moment. Looking at the goal scorers, Trent Simpson has 3. 2 to Nathaniel Murrumbine, 2 to Beau Walker, singles to Liam Campbell and Jace Price. While for Chapman Valley, Reece Everson has 3. Singles to Dylan Williamson, Richard Bartlett, Sam Solomon and Jaden Thompson. Ball back in the centre, so the margin has spread a little more again. So Northampton in control again. We're in the middle stages of this last term with thanks to GT Russell Chartered Accountants.
11 points, Glenn, is the margin.
So next goal, is very important, to say the least, for whoever gets it. If Northampton get it, the game would almost be over. If Chapman Valley get it, they're still in the contest. Ball back in the centre. Can Chapman Valley get a ball forward? Ball running free. Goes the way of Sam Solomon. Can he pick it up? Corbett's there, putting good pressure on. Ball comes out. Goes the way of Ringo McKenna. He looks for Richard Bartlett. Finds that player. Bartlett couldn't mark it. Ball runs free. Goes the way of Campbell. Campbell goes by hand. Gets it away to a teammate. Ball running free now. Once again, Northampton in the box seat in the centre. Pack around the ball. Umpire said the player didn't have prior opportunity. And umpire Brian Cohen will come and throw the ball up on centre wing.
Interesting, Glenn, if Northampton do scrape home this afternoon, they may slip to 4th spot if Rovers have a big win over Towns out at Greenock Oval this afternoon.
And Northampton, their next game is against Brigades. Brigades are getting dished up a little bit when we had the last score. Still looking for a score from that game. Ball goes the way of Ewan Whiteley now. Whiteley for Chapman Valley. Can he get something up forward? Looking there for Bartlett. Bartlett couldn't get the handle on it. Ball goes the way of a Northampton player. Has the ball held to him. The umpire says, give it to me, boys. I'll throw the ball up. Ball is in the forward 50. Can Chapman Valley keep their hypes alive with a goal in the next moments of play? Ball comes the way of Nathan Gray, gives it the way of Bartlett. Bartlett kicks the ball towards goal, but the ball's cut off by Northampton defender Jack McKee.
Jack McKee sends it out of defence, and it's easily marked as it comes out of defence by Ethan Brown. He's had a good game this afternoon in defence and attacking off the half-back flank for Northampton. He sends it down the ground, goes the way now of Corbett. Corbett in turn sends it to Simpson. Simpson takes a nice mark. Simpson at centre wing, the last goal scorer for Northampton. He sees the lead, and the lead is coming down the ground. The player couldn't take the mark up into the air, and we're talking about Kieran Harris. Goes straight over his head and comes off hands, in fact, and over the line. So the ball about to be thrown in. Time ticking away from Chapman Valley's finals hopes in season 2022. The ball is knocked down by Big Tom Page, goes to ground. McKenna's there, but at the bottom of the pack is Dylan Williamson. He puts it onto his boot. He gets it out of the pack. In fact, it's Jace Price who puts it onto his boot. Comes back down the wing. Up they go. Brown can't mark for Northampton. Hutchins is at the fall of the ball for the Valley. He dives on top of it. He's gathered up, and the umpire will throw it up. So as the shadows begin to grow off the grandstand here at Chapman Valley this afternoon, it looks like their finals hopes for this season, Glenn, could be slipping away.
Ball goes up towards the half forward. Richard Bartlett there, couldn't control the ball. In goes Brown. He gets tackled. In goes Jaden Thompson. He too is tackled. Ball held to him. Umpire will come in and throw the ball up. Time running out for Chapman Valley. We've played almost 11 minutes in this term. In fact, it's a little bit more than that. It's 15 minutes in this final term, with thanks to GT Russell Chartered Accountants. So time is running out for Chapman Valley. Can they get a score on the board and put the pressure on? Chapman Valley and Northampton have gone at it very hard this afternoon. A very, very important contest. Oh, Railways.
That took his head off.
His head. Umpire didn't see that, unfortunately. Ball goes forward. Goes the way there of Jake Hipper. Hipper kicks the ball forward. Goes the way now of Jay O'Brien. Kicks it up towards Jaden Thompson. Thompson takes a good, strong mark. And a good mark taken there by Jaden Thompson. Can he get the score on the board? Chapman Valley desperate for a score. Lee Hutchins still in the hands of the trainers. The umpire was unsighted with that one.
Talk about ducks and no dinner, Glenn.
Yes, 2 umpires. Ball comes the way of Jaden Thompson. 50 metres out, shoots for goal. Looks pretty good off his boot.
That's a good kick.
It's a good goal. And Chapman Valley is still in the contest. Chapman Valley on the Batavia Timber and Salvage scoreboard go to 8 goals, 7, 55. And they trail Northampton 9-8, 61. So it's a 6-point ball game here at Mazzucchelli Oval.
Yes, it certainly has. That goal has kept the game alive. Still a bit of time, one would think, left on the clock in the final term. And that last goal was a big one for Chapman Valley. It sees them go to 8-7, and they trail Northampton 9-8. So back in the middle now. The next goal is a very important one.
The scoreboard is should be 62 points. It says it's 61, so it's a little bit. It's 7 points.
7-point ball game.
Yeah.
7-point ball game. So that's important then, because the next goal is very costly for either side, as we see McVie coming out of the middle, kicking into the half-forward area. Nice mark is taken by the player there in Trent Simpson once again. So Simpson, he's been lively in this particular term, Glenn.
Yes, he's been very good this season.
Yep, and he'll have a shot on goal. He's in well and truly within scoring distance on that side of the ground. He's only going to be about 35 to 40 metres out when he gets onto this one, kicking toward the southern end. So this quarter has been an entertaining one. End-to-end football, Glenn, and great contests right around the ground. So in comes Trent Simpson now. Can he split the sticks on this occasion? In he comes. We wait in bated breath. Looks a good kick, but not good enough, and fades away to just 1 point, which means it's just a kick in it here at Mazzucchelli Oval.
Ball to be brought back in quickly. So looking for some movement. Comes towards the centre, where it's taken there by the player there, and Tyler Caddy for Northampton. He goes out wide and finds Trent Simpson all on his own again.
It's like Groundhog Day, Glenn.
It is. So it's been pretty interesting.
Same position where he was just a moment ago.
Yes. So the ball is there, and looking at the scoreboard at Greenough this afternoon, it is Rovers 14-8, 92, leading Towns 3-4, 22. So that's the scoreboard at the moment.
I reckon Rovers might get third spot back this week, Glenn.
Yes, and at Railways and Brigades, it's Railways 67 and Brigades 33. Ball comes the way of Trent Simpson, shoots on goal, pack into the air, off hands. Ball goes out of bounds, deep in the pocket for Northampton. So time running out for Chapman Valley. 63 plays 55.
Would have been better to slap it through for a
force behind.
Force behind for Chapman Valley.
8 points the margin. So the ball comes back in. Ball comes the way of Northampton players tackled. Puts ball to ball. Ball comes to the ground. Play on's the call. And eventually the ball does come out. And the umpire will throw the ball up once again.
55 trails 63 on the scoreboard, so the game has slowed right down here, but Chapman Valley have got it in that wrong end of the ground for the result of this match. As we see the big fella in Campbell, nimble, goes to ground, sends it into the full forward area. Williams goes in to try and collect it. A couple of players are dragged to ground. Willie Thorne is one of those and takes it over the boundary. So Northampton keeping it in their forward 50. Chapman Valley under pressure now, Glenn.
They are running out of time. We're into time on deep in the last quarter, with thanks to GT Russell Chartered Accountants. Chapman Valley have been gallant, but Northampton have been better. As the ball comes forward, goes the way of Sorensen. He misses what he should have taken. Ball running free, comes back towards the Northampton player. Chapman Valley, can they have the last roll of the dice? Ball comes the way of Hipper. He goes by hand, picked up by Campbell. Campbell shoots across the face of goal, and the ball goes out of bound again. So there'll be another boundary throw in. Time running out for Chapman Valley in this last quarter, and Chapman Valley trail by some 8 points. So they need to score twice, so that's going to be very difficult. Ball to be thrown back in by the boundary umpire. So the dying stages of this last quarter. What a thriller it's been here at Mazzucchelli Oval this afternoon. Whistle on play, and a whistle Northampton player was held while not in possession, and the free kick will go the way of Beau Walker. So Beau Walker, who's been very good this afternoon,
he has, Glenn.
He's kicked 2, and he'll line up for goal number 3.
And probably the sealer in this game if he puts it through.
Oh, it will be for sure. So Beau Walker from there, he's not far out at all.
No, he's only about 20 metres out, 20 to 25 metres out, Glenn, on a reasonable angle, kicking toward the southern end. And let's see how he can go. He's got a couple today, hasn't he?
He has.
So let's see what he can do. The little skip, he's done it every time. Off the boot, looks pretty good. Straight through the middle. And Northampton, they've won the Northern Derby, and they have sent Chapman Valley's hopes of making the finals this year into the ashes, Glenn.
They certainly have. So Northampton have beaten Chapman Valley on every game this year. They won by 27 points in their last encounter. They won by 70 in their first encounter. But Chapman Valley have been pretty competitive in this one. But Northampton going to hang on and secure their spot in the top 4 with a win this afternoon on the Batavia Timber and Salvage scoreboard. It is Northampton 10-9-69. They lead Chapman Valley 8-7-55 as we quickly go around the grounds and see what is happening at other grounds. And we can tell you that the scores are looking good for Railways. Railways 67, Brigades 33 in that contest. And the other game being played at Greenough Oval, it is Rovers 92 leading Towns 22.
Yes, time ticking away. The siren about to sound as the ball comes into the half-forward area. Brown didn't take the mark. Advantage played to Page. Page shoots on goal, but he's inaccurate and goes through for the minor score. So, they don't give up, Chapman Valley. They're going out. They're going out fighting, are the Royals this afternoon. The ball coming in out of defence. Players setting themselves. Comes over the top of a couple of players. Picked up again by Reece Moody. Puts it onto his boot. Sends it into the full forward area. But a nice mark is taken by Caddy. Here again, Glenn has played a good game for Northampton.
Yeah,
he'll be important in their finals campaign, won't he?
Yeah, he will. He's certainly a quality player, and they'll be lucky to pick him up. So he's another good player that's come into the Northampton lineup. And the ball is held to the Northampton player. And we see a bit of pushing and a lot of shoving. And there's the siren. It's full time in the match of the day. And we see the score. And the scoreboard siren has sounded, and the scoreboard sees Northampton 10-9-69 have defeated Chapman Valley 8-8-56. And that's the full-time score here at the Naboo Oval. And we see Jordan Murrumbine has been given a yellow card and has been sent from the ground. But it doesn't matter too much. And we see the scoreboard. And it is a good win to Northampton. Northampton 10-9-69 have defeated Chapman Valley 8-8-56. And you're tuned to Radio Mama, the home of GNFL football.